Be a part of the best pro wrestling podcast today by supporting the Going In Raw Patreon. You can enjoy access to the live taping of the show, exclusive merchandise, and patron-only episodes, and so much more. Support Going In Raw today. Click the link in the description.
This is the glorious one, Bobby Roode, and you're watching Going In Raw.
Hey, friendo, Steve here.
And Lars.
And welcome to Going In Raw, the only pro wrestling podcast you can be listening to right here at youtube.com/Steven Larson, available wherever fine podcasts are. Be sure to hit that subscribe button and a little notify bell next to it on YouTube to make sure you're always getting that fresh, juicy, Going In Raw content. It's every day, Larson.
Yeah, we do this every day.
With salt and pepper. We're also available on the Patreon, patreon.com/Steven Larson. We've got a bevy of reward tiers there to check out. We've got this Friendo Care Package. I've been sending these out left and right. It's great. I do want to take this moment because we're at the end of the month. The pledges have been processed.
Yeah.
The money is in, Larson. And you know what? A lot of these people open up their wallets to help support Going In Raw. You know what they get for it? Everybody, from $1 on, a shout-out.
Let us commence.
All right, here comes the shout out. See, this is when I need to get that guitar so that you can do some music.
Produce the guitar then.
It's in the other room. Can you give me some da-da-da-da-da-da? No? I'm not going to get any
pale imitation what I can be doing on the guitar. So
okay, well, here's the pledges. The official Gary Doyle, Dylan Haggett, Kallioke, T. Symbiote, Ricky Aloof. By the way, I'm going to botch a bunch of these names. This is kind of what I do. Ricky Aloof, Zachary Zalis, Mike James, Rory Regis, the Man Grace, Terrence Carter, the 360 Archangel, Craig Ringel, Chris Syed, Manmeet Rana, Be Quiet Son, WTAF Wrestling, Tony 41AU, Stefan Johann Halsbach, Robert Carey, Chris Kimmel again. Chris Kimmel's in and out, man. In and out. Michael Lent, Return of the Zach. I think I've already done some of these from the beginning of the year, but that's okay. I'm going to do them again. Blue Monkey, Derek Wallen, John N. Roberts, Showtime, Steve Stevens, Brian Pochik, Jack McGinnis, Morrison McCluskey, Sid Swami, James Frank, Felicio Nelson. That's a great name. Israel Pacheco, Guillaume Rainmaker, Fernando Zavalos, Glasgow Celtic IRA, Deputy Donahue, Brian McNamara, The Grizz, Jay-Sean Lawrence, Elijah Hill, Franklin Romero, Drunk Bray Wyatt, Richard Hardesty, Ivan Avendano, Brendan O'Day, Vontae Belgrave, Michael A. Hobbs, Brian Whipple, Robin Duffy, Bryce Adam, Christopher Nuttall, Dollar Wrestling, Colton Johnson, Chris Harvey, Danny Mack, Robert Wells, Taylor Malone, Abdullah Alramithi, Abdullah Alramithi, Reptosaurus, Cody Miles Wildman, Michael Flowers, Austin Marshall, Mario Levesque, Kendall Fuller, Slanderous Mambo, Joshua Montano, Taylor Ramsey, Mike Michik, George Garud, Dan Romanelli, April DaCosta, Larson's Post-Chop Smile. Your smile pledge to us. We're almost done here. Travis Martindale, Chris Holt, Juan and Only Garcia, Misheri, the Irish-born Roy Andrist, Jesse Whited, Douglas T. Dozer Jr., Miguel Zarate, Kieran Hansford, Kevin Maloney, Wudak, Ben Hyken, Drake Haiti, Zach Lemon, Corey Cudney, Zach Butts, Ocho Omega, Taylor Randell, Score Stupid, Brad Knight, Score Stupid.
All right.
Brad Knight, Piggy Carnage, Daniel Grundy, Aljet Volts, Dakota Pullen, Warren Haney, A.T. the Animator, Hey, What's That Smell? Clayton Schmidt, and that's it. That's it for January.
Thank you, everybody.
My God, that was a lot.
That was a lot. Maybe we should do it more often than monthly.
I know, but okay, so here's the thing. There have been times, like more than a couple times,
or you've read and then someone, like the pledge didn't go through.
Yeah.
I understand.
We're going to give a shout out to somebody who's going to sign up and then ditch us? What the heck? I mean, I guess I could space them out over the month, but then that's just more work for me. Look, it's done.
right,
It's
fine,
done.
fine.
It's taken care of. It's the dirt sheet. We don't have a lot of news anyways this
Well,
week.
there's a lot
If there
of
was
little
some
odds and
huge
ends.
breaking news, then I would have waited for like later.
Yeah, there's not a whole lot of huge breaking news. this
Maybe
week.
we'll do it at the end of the dirt sheet of the first every month.
All
The
right.
end of the dirt sheet.
All right.
People can stick around if they want to stick around
Watch time. Anyways,
and hear their name.
yeah. So we're at the Patreon. We established that. We talk about pro wrestling tees.
Let's just talk about Kenny Omega. Let's just talk about Kenny Omega. Let's just do
He
it.
has a pro wrestling tee shop just like us.
Yeah.
So he recently spoke to Sports Illustrated's Extra Mustard for their Wednesday edition of This Week in Wrestling.
Yeah.
And had some thoughts about WWE and The New Day. This is what to say about The New Day. Quote,
I'll read.
all right.
They're three of my favorite guys. They're three of my favorite guys in the entire company.
Triple H voice, man.
They know how to entertain.
Vince.
He says they clearly know how to entertain. He has that weird.
That's his
inflection.
promo voice,
Yeah,
though.
his promo voice. They clearly know how to entertain. They're all great athletes. When I see Big E, I clearly see someone who could be world champion. The guy is on another level. Kofi is one of those guys who is good in all situations and can challenge for all titles, and Xavier is another great athlete who is talented in the ring and confident on the mic. But then when asked about the New Day's lack of development as main eventers or singles wrestlers, despite being immensely popular, Omega had this to say. Now you could do your Kenny Omega.
Things like that that really make me think twice about what I would be getting into if eventually I do go there.
Whoa.
This isn't the first time that he's spoken about hesitations or potential qualms about going to WWE. Not that long ago, I think also he spoke to Sports Illustrated about Shinsuke Nakamura, how he's been booked in WWE, and Kenny more or less said he's done nothing consequential since signing there.
Well, and not just that, but he's talked about the wrestling there, how it seems to be
Overly choreographed.
super choreographed.
Yeah.
So I like it's great. I mean, they had that sort of for a while 2 years ago. I think
They had like
it
a
was.
Twitter thing going on, and he was trying to work something out. Kenny was an inter-promotional match where the Elite would take on New Day. Obviously, that went nowhere.
Yeah,
I think Kenny and the Elite have worn New Day shirts to the ring.
they have. Yeah, they're trying to needle them a little bit.
Yeah, and I believe at least Kenny and Xavier Woods are friendly.
Well, they're both big video gamers,
Yeah.
so they've done. I know they've done like they participated in like a head-to-head video
The fighting game tournament thing. Yeah,
Right, exactly. Yeah.
I mean, it's always great to hear a wrestler like Kenny Omega speaking so highly of talented individuals like the New Day. I mean, I agree with everything he said. If you want to, like on Matt Chat on Sunday, I speak very highly of Big E,
Yeah.
future world champion. Make
Yeah.
it happen.
Yeah.
But Kofi Kingston, he's been with the WWE for 10 years. Immensely talented. Xavier Woods, same thing. Immensely talented. They are three of the top guys in the entire company. And back when they had the U.S. title tournament, we were both hoping that Xavier Woods could find a way to win it, and then they could freebird rule that singles title. I still think that's a fantastic idea to differentiate them from every other tag team that's existed in WWE. If Vince has that thought in his mind, like we read a while back, that he wants to establish the New Day as the greatest tag team in WWE history, what better way to do that than to have them accomplish something that no other tag team has ever done?
It's new.
It is new.
Yeah.
I mean, and I'm really surprised that they haven't, WWE that is, hasn't pushed any member of the New Day up into any sort of singles title seriously, much less the main event, seeing how popular they are. From all accounts, they sell a ton of merch. It's kind of confusing.
Yeah. I agree with everything you just said. I mean, there's no reason why they shouldn't have. I really. Here's my thing also about the U.S. title thing is that it kind of bums me out that they didn't stick with it. Like, if that was one of the New Day's aspiration to get the U.S. title, then I would love to see them continue. I mean, I think probably what could be ideal. Well, see, Rusev, I don't think is going to take it off of Bobby Roode.
Well, not next week, no.
No, not next week. Anyways, I don't know if there was a situation where you had a guy like Jinder Mahal pick up the U.S. title, then I would love to see the New Day get into a thing with him where they do try to freebird rule their feud with him and pick up the U.S. title that way, and then freebird rule the title itself. I think that'd be great. I mean, they were the host at WrestleMania last year.
There's no obvious program for them this year yet.
No, but they had a terrific series with the Usos
Yes,
a couple months ago.
Yeah.
And so they have evolved them at all? Not much, but they are still one of the most entertaining
Absolutely.
acts on the show. and they don't feel stale necessarily.
No, they don't at all.
Could they be doing a lot more interesting things? Sure, why not? But you got the Bludgeon Brothers there. You got a bunch of, you got a couple of tag teams anyways. You've got the Authors of Pain and Sanity, both on the precipice of coming up to the main roster. And if they land in the same spot, the same brand as the New Day, then there will be some fresh blood for them to take on and some interesting stories. You've said a million times before you'd love to see Sanity versus the New Day.
Oh, yeah. Sanity versus New Day would be great. Undisputed Era versus New Day would be great.
The thing that I love about the Sanity versus New Day possibility is that we might see something more akin to what we might have gotten with the Wyatt family. Yeah, exactly. And I think that, Sanity, if there's any group outside of Wyatt and Matt Hardy that could benefit from some pre-film stuff, it's Sanity for sure.
Yes.
I mean, they already come off like a cinematic trio.
And then getting back to what Kenny had to say about how New Day has been booked in earlier Nakamura, I wonder if at the end of this next contract, assuming he's out of Bullet Club, and that stays the case for the duration of this year.
He seems to have a firm grasp on what his character arc, what he wants his character arc to be in New Japan.
Well, I think period too. He wants to kind of has an idea of what he wants his character arc to be. Period, regardless where he's at. Seeing how he's spoken about how WWE has handled talents recently, if his reservations on the creative front are going to be enough for him to say at the conclusion of this contract in early 2019, still not ready to go. I mean, because for every example you have of AJ Styles, who joined WWE and went off pretty much immediately, not quite immediately, but really quickly to enormous success, you have Gallows and Anderson. You have Nakamura. Balor achieved a lot of success when he got called up, but essentially he's been, since he returned from injury, it's been kind of hit or miss. So there's always speculation. I mean, even once he got kicked out of the Bullet Club, people expected him to warp space and time to make it to the Rumble, despite the fact that he signed another contract with New Japan.
Right.
There's always going to be speculation that he's going to WWE. He said that he has entertained the notion for no other reason to face AJ Styles at WrestleMania. But I imagine in his mind, there's a lot to juggle with in terms of, wanting to do that versus he seems very intent on having at least a say in the creative direction of his character, which in WWE he really wouldn't get.
Nope.
So, and granted, he is getting up there in years too. He's pushing his mid-30s. He wrestles a really physical style. Granted, he doesn't wrestle as many singles matches in New Japan. I think he wrestled like 10 singles matches last year. Yeah. If I remember correctly, something like that. Not a whole lot. Maybe a dozen.
You have to ask yourself what the mindset is of a guy like Shinsuke Nakamura if he sits there and thinks to himself, God, I swear I get a phone call every 2 minutes now. If Nakamura sits there and thinks to himself in the same manner that you think that Kenny Omega would think to himself, God, they're really not using me right. I mean, Kenny really does seem to have a very definitive, like I said, character arc for what he wants to be doing, where he wants to be doing it, or, what he wants to be doing as a character.
Yeah.
I wonder if, I don't know, you don't know if Shinsuke Nakamura sits there and thinks the same thing. It's like, oh, well, now I'm on the right path because he had a great NXT run from start to finish.
And he pretty much did everything he probably could do in New Japan.
Yeah.
He won pretty much all the titles.
Yeah. And so, they have him on the right path now. I mean, I imagine Kenny's going to talk to his friends in WWE and see what they have to say. But you're right. When you go to that big thing, I've sometimes made this parallel. If DC Comics, called me up and said, "Hey, we like your stuff. We want you to work on Batman." I'd be like, "Really? I can do whatever I want with Batman?" No. You have editors who have like a whole group that they report to.
And there's a whole writing team, all that stuff.
You'll do what we do in the grand scheme of Batman. Even though these days I pick a Batman comic and I have no idea what universe they're in, they're doing this thing with the Watchmen now. And I'm like, where in continuity does lie in DC? I have no idea. They reboot their universe all the time.
Yeah.
It's really frustrating.
That's super frustrating. That's why one reason I don't read comic books.
Yeah, I know.
Especially if it seems like if you've been out of it for a while, you try to pick it back up and
it's impossible
and familiarize yourself with what's going on.
Because they're expensive, and then you have to understand the rest of the universe. It used to just be pick up a Flash book and maybe Superman will show up.
Yeah.
And now it's pick up a Flash book and it's one of 48 titles that month, and you have to get them all for a big jigsaw puzzle, and half of them suck.
It's too much.
Anyway,
the comics industry is struggling enough. Why don't they make it even harder?
I know.
Are they trying to be TV in terms of doing all these interconnected narratives and stuff?
I don't know. They just try to suck your money, man. That's all it is. They try, you want this one? You got to get this one.
I know. You like Batman? Here's 3 Batman comics. Plus, he makes maybe random references in other books that if you want to understand the story, you got to buy them all.
Exactly. It used to be editor's note. Batman did this in this comic. Now it's like, I just figure you're reading the whole thing.
Yeah.
Anyways, so yeah, I mean, he's not going to have the creative license that he wants. But, as with everything, there's risk. He could have a Shinsuke-esque, or a Finn Balor-esque, an AJ Styles-ish journey through the WWE. Obviously, he said before he doesn't want to go to NXT, nor should he want to go to NXT. No. You would think, I would, you would love to think that, I don't know, that he would sit down with, the game and they'd square out a plan, like a 3-year plan, and it would be Vince proof somehow.
Yeah, somehow.
Who knows if that actually exists though?
Yeah.
You bring Matt Hardy in, and Vince loves Matt Hardy, and Matt Hardy now, seemingly now that he's got the broken stuff, he can do whatever he wants, and he's in charge of his own destiny within, to a degree. Kenny doesn't have that kind of 20-year back history with the company to fall back on and rely on, or Chris Jericho, who can come in and say, I don't need you, WWE, but if you want to do something fun, let me know what it is and I'll do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if Kenny Omega says to the company, I don't need you, but if you want to do something fun, let's do it. WWE doesn't really do that if you haven't been around before for a long time.
I mean, I know Kenny is one of, if not the hottest name still in wrestling.
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of interesting. I mean, I get why they don't do it, because they don't want to invest time and money, and then it just goes back to New Japan or whatever.
Also, Vince likes control.
Yeah, and Vince loves
That's a massive
control.
part of it.
Yeah, he loves control.
The man doesn't like to sneeze because he loses control.
So I don't know. I mean, I get what he's saying.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
And he's definitely got a lot to think about. But at the end of the day, it's just wrestling.
Oh, yeah.
I don't even know what that means. Anyways, let's talk about this really quick. There's a lot of buzz on the internet about the reaction that Ronda Rousey and her appearance at the Royal Rumble has gotten, not just from social media, wrestling Twitter, wrestling fandom, but also the wrestlers themselves.
Yeah, and it seems like her debut hasn't exactly been universally embraced by the women's locker room. Well, whether this is shoot or work.
This is work.
Probably.
No, it's work.
Yeah, like 90% work. Yeah.
This is 100% work.
But several members of the women's division have spoken out publicly about Ronda Rousey's debut. First, Nikki Bella, in response to a tweet from WWE talking about Rousey's candid thoughts on her WWE debut, Nikki had to say, quote, wonder what all the 30 other women candid thoughts were, too.
Oh.
Nia Jax said, cool, she's here. I guess 30 women making history can just be forgotten.
Whoa.
And then during an appearance on Busted Open, when asked about her feelings on Ronda's debuts, what Sasha Banks had to say, quote, my feelings, it's sorry to do it to you guys, but I have nothing nice to say, so I can't say anything at all. So that's it.
I do like this, though. Okay, so here's the thing. All those, I will guarantee they were vetted statements that the WWE approved. That I guarantee, because Ronda Rousey's going to make them a ton of money, and it's not like she can wrestle anyways, and all these girls will be just fine. And these are all vetted tweets, vetted responses. I guarantee.
I'm inclined to think that too, but there's always a possibility that's not the case.
If there was a possibility, that person would be suspended. If somebody, this is such a big deal for the WWE. If somebody went off script, they would be reprimanded. I guarantee that.
I don't think they'd be suspended, but they might get a stern.
They'd get something.
A stern word from someone in.
You know what would happen? They'd lose to Mandy Rose in the next episode of Raw. So we'll find out if any of these are not vetted. They'll lose to Mandy Rose. This one's kind of funny because Natalya said to TV Insider, I think Ronda is going to be an excellent fit in WWE. She has a great attitude. She wants to be a part of this company. She wants to get to know the girl. She has a tremendous respect for the history of our company. I think she definitely brings attention to the company in a lot of ways. I'll tell you one thing, because I am in the women's locker room. There's nothing but respect towards Ronda, no matter how anyone felt about how they debuted her. I can guarantee that was probably the only shoot of any of them. Maybe. That was probably the only shoot, because, I mean, who's really going to I don't know. Nobody has anything to fear. This person's about to make you a bunch of money.
Potentially.
They're all very smart. No, not potentially. Guaranteed Ronda Rousey's going to make them all a bunch of money.
Well, I mean, the ones that get to have matches with her at pay-per-views, but that's not going to be everybody.
Even this brings their business up. This brings people to the product. The more people buy tickets, the more money you get. The more people who watch your product, the more money you get. There's no maybe about it. That's how it works.
Well, I think that's true at least till Mania and then her first singles match. But if Ronda Rousey has her first singles match and then she can't do it, the bloom's gonna come off the rose real quick. If she gets in the ring for a singles match and can't keep up, that's gonna be a massive bummer.
If there is some colossal, massive, huge botching moments, but the expectations are so low for her in-ring work. Nobody's expecting her to put on a wrestling clinic.
Nobody's expecting to put on a wrestling clinic, but that said, she is a decorated athlete. I'd say that's a reason, or it's like a certainty she's going to be successful in pro wrestling. We've seen several decorated athletes who have done terribly in the WWE ring. But while her expectations from people like us are low, the casual viewer who tunes into the product, if they tune in to see her, used to seeing dominant Ronda Rousey, granted I know she hasn't been down in the octagon for a number of years, but still, if that's what they're expecting and they turn on and they see, okay, well, she's not that good of a wrestler, is that going to turn them off? And it's in combination not only of that, but we don't know what her mic work's going to be like. We don't know what kind of character she's going to be able to project. How much charisma she'll be able to project in the WWE ring. Completely different thing than UFC. There's just a lot of unknowns, and while our expectations I don't think are very high, if casual viewers are watching expecting, oh, this is Rowdy Ronda Rousey circa 2013, and they don't get that, they might just say, okay, what's the point of watching? I'm not going to watch this.
There would have to be.
There's a huge short-term gain, but long-term, I'm a little more. I'm not skeptical.
Yeah,
I'm
but
cautious about
the huge short-term gain for these people, men and women in the locker room, is a huge short-term gain. If somebody says, "Hey, do you want extra money right now?" Yeah, I want extra money.
Well,
right
I think when Meltzer makes a point in the Wrestling Observer newsletter saying that this Ronda's signing is more to help them in negotiations for the next TV contract. That's not even going to take effect till 2019. That's a whole year from now.
When are the negotiations going to happen?
Well, this year, but
Right.
no one's going to see any of that money till 2019 when the contract actually comes into effect. The contract doesn't run out till next spring.
Yeah, I know. But
so if there's any gains financially from the TV deal, no one's going to benefit from that till next year.
I'm talking about the TV deal.
Well, I'm just saying from
The
Meltzer's
TV deal.
perspective.
The TV deal is profits for the company.
I understand that.
Yeah.
But the only potential more money they will be getting is, and I don't even know if it works this way now with the network. But in the past, you had a match on the pay-per-view, you get additional money. But now with the network, it's been kind of unknown whether talent gets pay-per-view bonuses, because obviously pay-per-view buys are down because people can just spend $10 a month and watch all the pay-per-views on the network. Sorry, Demon Boss. Careful. So if you want short-term immediate windfall for the women's competitors, that would have been it. I don't know if that's still the case. Granted, I know more eyeballs on the product potentially would mean more money, but I don't know how the new television deal is going to play into increasing wrestlers' compensation. So I'm apart from getting improved exposure potentially in terms of short-term gain for individual competitors, maybe merch sales, maybe some bonuses for gates at house shows or Raws or whatever. But I don't see a huge windfall for anybody.
We don't know.
No, we don't know.
You don't know.
I don't know.
But you're getting into like this really, really elaborate detail, which is like not the point. The point is this is really good potentially for their business.
Yes, I agree with that short term for sure. Yeah.
Right. And so I don't see them allowing anybody to be saying anything about her that isn't vetted. It doesn't make any sense. And nobody in the locker room. I agree with
you. I said there's 90% chance this is all a work.
I know why. Why are you arguing with me though? It's weird.
Because we have to fill out an hour podcast.
Well, I know. I get that, but it's just weird that I don't know. I don't get it.
I'm just going to the complexities of the situation because I don't think it's as cut and dry as she's going to show up and everybody can make more money and just be great for everybody. I don't think it's that simple.
I mean, I kind of do think it's that simple. I think if somebody shows up that's like a huge crossover star that brings all this more, a ton more exposure to your product.
Yeah, short term, I agree.
Everybody's going to be like really happy about that.
Short term. But
You keep on saying short term as if it's a counter to what I'm saying.
That's not a counter. I'm adding a nuance to the situation. Because it's great now. Maybe it'll be great, and maybe several months thereafter it'll be great.
I mean, anyway.
but if she, I'm saying in the end, if she can't keep up with Sasha Banks or Charlotte,
well, she's not. Okay, here's the thing. She's not going to be able to keep up with Sasha Banks or Charlotte. They can carry her. I will guarantee after she's got some reps in, they'll be able to carry her to something. They are going to be spending so much effort and energy on ensuring that she's not going to look like an idiot. Now, once she has to fly a little bit on her own and be in there with Charlotte, she has to at least be competent so that Charlotte can take over. I totally agree with you. But in terms of her being on the mic, I have a strong, and this isn't me coming up with this, but it seems kind of obvious, and I've seen it a couple places. Have Paul Heyman go with her. That just makes all the sense in the world, and it gives her that gravitas.
No, I understand.
Because the only other guy he's been with recently is Brock Lesnar. Yeah. And so I think they will put all their energy and effort into surrounding her with this protective bubble as much as they can. And I agree with you that if she gets in the ring, because eventually she will definitely have to have some singles matches. Like she's going to have to do that. And if she gets in there and lays a giant fart in front of the world to see on the biggest stage, because yes, there will be a giant spotlight on her. Eventually, as you're saying, in the long term, that bloom will come off. But the idea that anybody in that locker room would have a problem with somebody coming in and bringing all this exposure and all this, additional whatever to their business, and they'd have a problem with it, especially like Nia Jax. Nia Jax is probably going to have a match with her down the line, which is going to be huge for her. Yeah. Sasha Banks is going to have a match with her down the line, which is going to be huge for her.
Yeah, I'm in the sense of these statements, I'm agreeing with you. They are more likely than not a work. But we just started talking about the whole Rousey thing, and I was just tossing in my 2 cents.
That's fine. I know.
We have content we need to create.
I just feel like there's like some contradiction where it seemed obvious.
What?
I don't know.
What seemed obvious?
That people should be totally happy that she's there.
Well, I mean, yeah, I'm sure they are. At the same time, though, when we watched the Rumble, my first instinct when she came out at the end of the Rumble was like, well, that's kind of a bummer for Asuka. This is her huge moment.
Oh, I don't know. I don't know if people care about that. They're business people. That's the thing.
I understand that. But, I mean, me as a viewer of the product, I mean, Asuka won the first women's Rumble. It's a huge moment for her.
No, and I've said I understand that point of view. Yeah.
Rousey comes out, and she's the sole focus of it. It's a bummer for Asuka.
Yeah.
She might not feel the way.
No,
but that's
look,
how
I know, man. Nerds like you and I agree. Like, we want the people who have been there paying their dues. But, if it's going to bring casual eyes to the product. Then,
no, it's good. Yeah, that's a benefit.
That's fantastic.
But, but if Rousey is going to make this a sole focus or the primary focus for her life for the next several years, then I hope that and, Natalia said that, and I've heard other places, that her work ethic's really strong. She's, she trained well, and that she's been going to the Performance Center for a while, on weekends when she's not shooting movies and stuff. And that's great to hear that she's dedicated to putting the effort in to making herself the best performer she can be. And I hope that's the case. So when she is putting a singles match, she can hold her own. Yeah. Because if she puts on 2 or 3 stinkers in a row,
it would be really surprising to me, dude, if they didn't house show her first. Yeah. Or do something. I get, so she says she's on a full-time schedule. Meltzer seems to think that's sort
more of a Lesnar schedule.
A Lesnar thing.
Yeah. I think the ESPN thing, when they said she's a full-time pro wrestler now, I don't think they meant 250 shows a year.
Well, they just mean they have her for a couple of years to make appearances on a regular basis. But I would have to think that they're going to be putting on, that they're going to, look, she's not going through NXT or anything like that. But, Shayna Baszler's she's been in pro wrestling for, I think, 2 years. And then she was obviously in the Mae Young Classic. She's been doing NXT house shows before she made her TakeOver debut. No, she had her TV debut against Dakota Kai, I think. Yeah. And if Rousey can pull that off, can pull off Shayna Baszler,
no, she'll be fine. But also, that took Baszler working 2 years in the Indies to get to that point, and far from a finished product.
And 2 years in the Indies is a lot.
Yeah.
That's a long time because you're doing that all the time. So I'm not even saying like that's realistic necessarily, but at the same time, Shayna Baszler didn't have like an entire giant company behind her tuning her up.
Preparing her to get ready, yes.
Yeah.
There's just a lot of unknowns, and yeah, it's a huge windfall for the company now. There's a lot of pressure on her to deliver now, and if for whatever reason it doesn't happen, it's not nearly the slam dunk long term that it's definitely going to be short term.
Yeah.
That's my general point.
Yeah.
That there's a lot of variables in play. If they want to sustain that level of popularity with her, that need to fall into place to make that possible.
That's if you know, obviously if they want to maximize their investment, they want to make sure this works long term. No, I get that. I'm just saying that to the idea that any of these people would be speaking up like this is the company invests so much money in this that the idea that anybody would be out there, you know, criticizing it when they're obviously it's like wrestling it's entertainment, it's a work. They're not going to be out there shooting their mouth off if it wasn't completely vetted by the company and completely like, you know, I guarantee they had a giant meeting of some sort saying, listen, she's coming in. This is how I want you to react. That's what I'll guarantee it. I'll guarantee it.
You also guarantee that Roman Reigns would never get pinned between now and Mania, so.
That's a much different situation now. Speaking of Roman Reigns, his opponent at WrestleMania, Brock Lesnar, might be getting into it with somebody else after WrestleMania.
Well, if he sticks around.
Yeah, if he sticks around. We don't even know
what
what
the whole
his
other issue.
contract
His contract,
is like.
because I've heard April, but I also heard August, because like there's an option or something. Anyways, from the newsletter, apparently Bobby Lashley is expecting WWE any time now. In his mind, he was in negotiations with both WWE and New Japan. Those are the two options. And according to Meltzer, he made the call going to WWE.
I'm bummed out we're not going to see the Lashley versus Kitamura match that I've always wanted to see.
We still might get Goldberg versus Kitamura.
That's true.
From the newsletter, quote, the belief is that Lashley will work with Lesnar after Mania, although those close to the situation say the working with Lesnar is not 100%. Of course,
Lesnar being around might not be 100%.
Yeah, it all depends on Lesnar's contract situation. Again, heard that expires right after Mania. Buffalo's heard that there's an option. I don't know if it's a mutual option or a WWE option to keep it around till August.
So I think the last thing I remember seeing was something about WWE is able to sign off on Lesnar doing UFC up until August. So I think his contract to some degree, maybe it's like, I don't know, his dates. I have no idea. I'm speculating right now. Something like maybe
you could think a no compete, but usually that only is in play when you get released, when there's length left on your deal, I would think.
Well, I'm wondering if maybe his deal, and again we're speculating, his deal might be for a certain number of dates, but then it also has a certain time period where the WWE can option him for additional dates at a certain price.
It could be.
Maybe that's it.
Maybe. I don't know.
I don't know. But
There's
anyways,
a lot of unknown.
You want to see Bobby Lashley versus Brock
Heck,
Lesnar?
yes.
Yeah, man. Who doesn't?
Lashley's great.
Lashley is great.
Brock is good when motivated.
Yeah. Brock would be on his way out. Number one, the WWE would have to love to have him stick around, right?
You'd think.
You think Lesnar wants to stick around?
I don't know.
After that last match, didn't even look like he wanted to be there.
No.
He was acting weird, man. He was acting when he was in the ring at first, and he was like kind of oddly laughing.
Well, he came to the ring, the color his face was red already. Usually you can get that way till a minute into the match.
I don't really want to I mean, what can alter somebody's mental state, Larson? What things can you do to alter your mental state or your physiology?
Too much speculation, Steve.
I know. Hey, you know what? Good piece of prime rib, buddy.
Yeah, man. A nice steak. Maybe went out and got a few Philly cheesesteaks
He was
there
like,
in
man,
Philadelphia.
I'm hyped. I had some good Philly cheesesteaks.
He was super excited.
He
went up to, was it Gino's? And did that and said, give me 3.
Oh, man.
But no, I think this is great. It'd be great for Lashley getting to a program. They never had a program or did they have a program in WWE when Brock was still there? Or Lashley was after Lesnar? Lesnar left in 2004.
Bobby.
And at that point, Lashley would have been in ECW still if he was even
around. I swear they didn't have a thing.
But ECW didn't come back till after 2006. I didn't think.
This is all Photoshop stuff.
Yeah, I know.
Stop photoshopping all this stuff. Look at this. Oh, it's so bad. Look at that. That's so obviously photoshopped. Look at this one. Oh, that one's real though.
Oh wow, that is real.
Oh, what about this one? Boy, they do. Some of these guys do a decent job. This one's not very good. That's no, I don't know who that is. Oh, that's Overeem. No. So apparently, no, they've never been in the ring together.
Yeah, I didn't think so.
When did Lashley debut? Bobby Lashley.
2004 in OVW.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So no.
Lesnar was only around. Lesnar was around for such a short period of
I
time.
know, it was only a couple years.
Yeah. When was WrestleMania 20?
I mean, 2005, 2006.
Yeah, I don't know. No, I'd love to see this. I think it'd be great. It'd be awesome.
Oh, wait. 2004.
21 was 2005.
So, yeah.
2004. Okay,
Yeah, because that was Lesnar's last match. Yeah.
Okay, so
Early
yeah,
2004,
there you go then. Yeah, no reason to.
Yeah, March 14th, 2004.
All right. So, no, this is cool. This is rad. This is good. I mean, that's kind of crazy. Like, everybody from Impact who's anybody ends up in WWE.
Oh, I
now.
know. Just bring over John Morrison next.
He's been in the WWE before.
I know, but so was Lashley. Bring him back.
I know.
Bring Austin Aries, too.
I'm not sure. Oh, that I'm definitely
And
into.
Moose.
I don't really. John Morrison needs to reinvent himself on the indie circuit. And I'm not just talking about Johnny Impact.
No, I think that's him, man.
His thing?
Yeah. Because he never, when he got released or left WWE, it wasn't like he reinvented himself.
I know.
That was like the prime opportunity.
You kind
to
of
do
need to do that, though, don't you? No. He's still great in the ring and everything.
Yeah, man.
He's fun in Impact. You gonna start watching Impact tonight? Last night?
I'll start watching Impact when we're at ringside at the show, and I'll stop watching it as soon as we leave.
Really?
Yeah.
Whoa, that is such a bummer.
Unless I'm really wowed.
I think you're gonna be wowed.
Let's see.
Moose is gonna. Can I reach out to Moose and have him charm you?
Sure.
Say, hey, there's a grumpy.
I like Moose.
There's
I like Moose
There's
a lot.
grumpy beard. Well, then you like Impact. You know what he calls himself?
Mr. Impact, right?
Mr. Impact.
See, I know that. I follow him on Twitter.
Come on, man. Let me ask you, if Impact was an hour long, would you be more? Would you watch it?
I'd have more time to watch it, yeah.
Yeah. I'm telling you, man, you gotta start watching Impact. I'm gonna start doing my Impact once we get The Office. Start doing my Impact again.
Wow, am I so tired today?
I don't know, man. I feel great.
Maybe that's why I got off the rails with the Rousey thing, because I'm just tired.
Nah, man, you're right. We got content to fill. I hate that I acted like I got a little pissy with you there.
Well, that's fine.
Yeah.
It's real.
It's
I wasn't disagreeing with your fundamental thesis. I was trying to expound upon it.
Yeah, I know. Sometimes I feel like you try to be a contrarian.
Well, in this case, I was trying to be a little devil's advocate to fill out the show a bit.
Yeah.
I'm saying that's not as cut and dry. It's not going to be a guaranteed home run for the full duration of her deal.
Oh, yeah, man.
That's all I'm trying to say.
From top to bottom, everybody's going to get an immediate paycheck.
Well,
Especially
that's
this
not
new
true.
amazing tax plan that's going through.
Oh, dear.
Oh, man. Anyways. Yeah, so we should also bookend this segment by mentioning, this is basically non-news, by saying that we are going to be making our Impact TV debut.
This is definitely not news.
Did I put this in non-news?
If not, maybe we should reserve it for non-news.
No, see, I always like doing
a little tease.
A little tease. Oh yeah, no, it's not a non-news.
All right, we're gonna be on Impact.
So this is a huge piece of non-news. We have officially procured our front row tickets. You procured our front row tickets,
despite me saying that it was gonna be your responsibility.
Let me ask you something.
What?
How did you pull off front row at Impact, Larson? I know the site had to be crashing with just people inundating the site.
I'm not going to disparage Impact at all, but I will say the demand for those tickets were nowhere near what they were for New Japan Strong Style involved.
Well, you know what? Everybody has to
start. It was really this simple. I know, was it Big Time Wrestling is the ones that's co-promoting this taping with Impact. I went to their Twitter. They said on this day, Monday, tickets go on sale.
Yeah,
you know how compulsive I am with getting good tickets to shows.
Yeah.
We're gonna go. I want best tickets, or at least I want to try to get best.
Of course,
tickets.
Yeah. I'm even like best tickets or GTFO. I might not go to Strong Style.
For me, it's I'm compulsive about the process of getting them, like the success of getting good.
It's
seats.
a sport for you.
Yes,
gotcha.
That's exactly what it is.
Yeah,
like Strong Style. If all of my tickets are mediocre, but I don't care. I want to go.
Yeah.
But I was disappointed I didn't get better seats because the sport of it. Yes.
Sure.
Anyways, so I was at the gym. I knew on this day they were going to go on sale, but they didn't say a time. So I just went to the website, and between sets, I'd refresh.
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
Oh, wow.
And as soon as I noticed the front row by themselves were on sale, add to cart.
Awesome. Boom. Done.
Ticketmaster.
You are the ticket master. Yeah, so that's exciting. I don't know what day we'll find out whenever the tapings
airs.
Yeah, when it airs.
I don't know.
But
I like that they're going to other promotions and doing TV tapings. That's good. It keeps costs down for them. They don't have to rent the venue.
I love it. When I was doing the Impact reviews, that was one thing I really liked, because the one thing that they were doing is giving you, now we're going over to the Crash, and because I love watching the productions of other indie promotions. Mm-hmm. And you'd get a feel for all these indie promotions. Mm-hmm. You know, I mean, Crash is a bigger one, but, you know, you'd get a Crash, you'd get, there's like a Canadian one, I forget what it was. Yeah, there was like a ton of Noah. They're Pro Wrestling Noah. Yeah. They had some stuff there.
They have a partnership with them.
Yeah. So you get exposure to all these different things. Meltzer was saying that it's possible that the new announced team, now that Borash, which we're going to talk about in a second.
It was supposed to be Don Callis is supposed to join the announced team, right?
Callis and Kevin Kelly, perhaps.
Oh, that'd be cool. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And you were poo-pooing it all that time when I was like, Don Callis is going to be a revolution for Impact Wrestling.
Well, you were talking about him single-handedly repairing the damaged relationship between Impact and New Japan. I said, it's not that easy.
It is. Apparently it is. See, some things are cut and dry.
Yeah.
That's what you have learned today.
No, nothing's that cut and dry, Steve.
You know what is cut and dry? In 2 months. A little bit less than 2 months.
What, WrestleMania?
Yeah.
Be more than 2 months.
2 months and 7 days.
2 months and 7 days.
Yeah.
Well, 6 days from this goes up. Anyways, of WrestleMania 34, the Wrestling Observer himself, Dave Meltzer, offered his, at least speculation, or maybe he has inside sources about possible card for the show. Of course, we all know Roman Reigns versus Brock Lesnar. That's been set in stone for more than a year.
For 3 years now?
As we saw at the Rumble, AJ Styles versus Shinsuke Nakamura. That is set in stone now. What?
What did Brock do last year at Mania?
He beat Goldberg.
Brock Goldberg.
To win the Universal title, which he has held ever since.
What did he do the year before that?
Ambrose.
Oh, that's right. Why did they do that?
Terrible idea. Awful match.
Anyways, I'm sorry.
That was a garbage match. Anyways, he talks about the mixed tag match for Ronda Rousey against Triple H and Stephanie. He brings up the idea of Kurt Angle as her partner, which we brought up earlier in the week.
Yep.
Great idea.
Great idea.
I think that's the best idea. Because
no, I agree.
Even if The Rock were available, I think that's the best idea.
Yeah, absolutely.
He talks a bit more about Cena versus Undertaker, unless Undertaker backs out, decides he doesn't want to do it. Please,
Can we
Mark.
cross our fingers? Mark.
Please.
We've seen you in the promo for 365. Wow, it's great. What a great weight off the back of my shoulders.
It's not bad.
30
you
days.
A little too much accent, though. His accent's not that thick.
See, I like adding a little bit more accent because it makes me personally laugh.
All right.
30 days that I get, 30 years rather, of my career is now done.
See what tomorrow brings.
Don't see what tomorrow brings. I'm going to wake up bright and early next to my wife, Michelle McCool.
See if I still feel the powers of the darkness.
See if she can get my powers of the darkness working.
But Meltzer offers no alternative to Undertaker should he decide not to do it. He brings up, again, The Miz versus Braun Strowman. And he mentions Charlotte versus Asuka, and then Alexa Bliss versus Nia Jax. So Asuka would move to SmackDown, paving the way for Ronda Rousey to kind of be top woman wrestler on Raw going forward.
Yeah.
Which, short term, absolute boon. I agree. What's my philosophy generally? Let's see how things play out.
What's my philosophy then?
Quick snap judgment.
Exactly. And that's why it works so well.
Yes, exactly.
We meet
Balance.
somewhere in the middle.
He brings up Jason Jordan versus Seth Rollins, though both are dealing with injuries. Jason Jordan, I guess, is dealing with a pretty significant neck injury. Apparently he's having a problem with grip.
Oh, that's horrible.
That's bad. And then Seth has a back issue.
Ugh. Come on, damn it. You let these people take some time off.
I know. Do the New Japan schedule. They only do singles matches at pay-per-views.
No.
Meltzer also mentions there'll be at least one Battle Royal, if not two. So I guess an Andre the Memorial Battle Royal for the men and maybe another one for the women.
Who would be the name of the Battle Royal?
namesake?
Yeah. The Medusa Battle Royal.
That's good.
That's a good one.
The Alundra Blaze
Yeah.
Battle Royal.
I mean, you can't do Mae Young again. You need a big person. Just a name.
Just a name.
Yeah. I don't know.
Anyways, also there's going to be a Cruiserweight title match. And then we'd assume matches for the Raw and SmackDown tag titles. But BodySlam.net has their own take.
Okay, hold on a second. Is this the first time that...
Yeah, we've mentioned them.
Okay. Have you done any research on the veracity of their...
I mean, I went to their main page.
Okay.
They had stories other people have.
Okay. Right.
I didn't click on any of them.
Okay.
Just saw. They suggest that rumors are going around that Finn Balor
Please
could challenge The Miz for the Intercontinental title.
Please do that
And
instead.
that Braun would take Angle's place and be Ronda Rousey's partner against Triple H and Stephanie.
Oh, I like that.
So,
boy, that'd be huge for Braun. The big celebrity next to the celebrity rub person.
That would be massive for him.
That'd be huge.
And then as far as The Rock being involved in the Ronda Rousey match, complications. Wrestling Inc. notes that The Rock is slated to begin production on his next film, Disney's Jungle Cruise, in May, and that insurance issues might preclude him from being able to wrestle.
Yeah, here's the thing. Going back to your point about Rousey needs to be protected. Kurt Angle is perfect. Even Braun is perfect because you have people in there who, like The Rock, they're not going to let him do that stuff. And I mean, we saw last time he wrestled, it was against Eric Rowan
in a matter of 6 seconds.
Right, exactly. So you don't want somebody in there as Rousey's partner who's rusty, who has to hold back because of insurance problems.
Yeah.
You let what's their faces? Angle or Strowman, do a lot of the wrestling stuff with Triple H, and then Rousey and Stephanie gets in there
For the finish.
Yeah, for the finish. There you go.
Yeah, because Rousey has to be the winner in her debut match.
Yeah.
She has to be one that either scores the submission or the pin.
Yeah,
That has
exactly.
to happen.
Yeah.
And it's entirely possible she'll come out in that first match and wow us all. It's entirely possible.
Yeah.
She's a good athlete. From what I hear, she trains a lot. She trains really well. So
She's gonna have to. Yeah, she's gonna have to do.
there's just got to be a ton of pressure on her.
I know. But also, I mean, somebody who's dealt with the pressure she already has.
Oh, I know. Yeah.
That's got to make things a bit easier, I'd imagine. Yeah.
So if there's any semblance of truth to this card or BodySlam.net's card, it should be a fun show.
You know what, man? Just give her the curb stomp.
What?
Give Rousey, let her use the curb stomp.
Oh, okay.
People mark out.
Oh,
for
she's
that
gonna
move.
use it. She's gonna use the armbar.
Yeah, I know, but I'd rather she comes out, kicks somebody in the gut, runs the ropes, curb stomp, armbar. People would mark out for that.
Is there a move that could precede armbar that can? You know how Nakamura and Asuka do the leaping thing towards the arm and roll over, get to the armbar. Is there a move that's similar?
I always loved when
that has impact.
When Del Rio did that, it actually looked really cool and
I think it's great when Nakamura and Asuka do it.
Yeah.
Especially considering how quick they are. It's insane.
Curb stomp, man.
I think Seth already got that move. He just got that back. Don't take it away from Seth already.
Different division.
Oh yeah, they can both use it. Yeah.
Should they do a locker room segment where she's like, "Hey Seth, I really like the curb stomp," and he's like, "It's called the blackout."
What if instead of using her foot, it's like she drops the leg or a knee on the back of the head?
Oh no, the leg drop curb stomp. It's like Hogan, but also curb stomp.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh man, there you go.
There you go.
I like it. What kind of gear is she gonna wear?
Yeah, that's a good question.
Oh, like her UFC gear, right?
Yeah, probably something similar.
Yeah.
I would suspect, yeah. You want to talk about these Rumble bits?
Yeah, sure.
What are you laughing about?
The episode is so empty-ish.
Empty-ish? No, we had a really good conversation about Kenny Omega. Really good conversation, I guess. I don't know, about Ronda Rousey.
Yeah.
You got mad. That's entertainment.
I didn't get mad.
There. You did get mad.
I did not get mad. You're just sitting there talking.
You're not used to me talking. That's the thing.
No, I am. You talk a lot more now than you used to. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just sit there silently. Nowadays, you yap. And I love it because it lets me do less. Mm-hmm. And you know me, I don't like doing stuff in general.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the Rumble. There's some interesting bits about the Royal Rumble here.
Yeah.
Supposedly, the women's winner came down to either Asuka or...
This is according to the newsletter.
According to our Wrestling Observer newsletter. I feel like we're already doing non-news.
Yeah, I know. I mean, this is probably back when they hadn't decided when they were going to bring Asuka up yet. Once they decided Asuka was going to be brought up to main, it's like, all right, she's.
Oh, you think so?
Unless they had plans to put the belt on Asuka before the Rumble.
Yeah.
If
Maybe.
Asuka's in the Rumble and there's any indecision about her winning the
Really?
Rumble, I think that's foolishness on WWE's
Wow.
part. If Asuka's in the Rumble, she had to win the Rumble.
Do you really put it past the WWE to have some foolishness going on?
I do not.
At no time do I ever think Nia Jax has ever actually penciled in to win.
No.
But maybe it was the kind of thing where they're like, okay, if we can find some way not to have Asuka, then it's going to be Nia Jax. Like, she's probably the definite number 2.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm going to say.
No, I agree with that.
Yeah.
But
He does continue. He says Asuka's undefeated streak was clearly being set up for Ronda Rousey at some point. That's not good, man.
Well, he keeps on going on and on about how Asuka kind of out of nowhere started employing the armbar as a finisher.
Yeah, he's looking too deep into that.
I think so too.
I feel like, yeah.
He thought that was setting up something between Asuka.
I mean,
and
here's
Rousey.
the thing: Rousey's finisher is the curb stomp. So it's the leg drop curb stomp. This is kind of an interesting little bit too. In Japan, given that both Rumble winners were Japanese, wasn't much talk in their mainstream media. The coverage was limited to mostly newsstand sports newspapers, some of which stopped covering wrestling years ago, and they did give good coverage to this. So that's good. But it wasn't like, all over the news.
Mm-hmm. You want to talk about Jeremy Borash for a little bit?
I feel like this is non-news.
Well, everything I've read, granted, I don't watch Impact, so I don't know like his fingerprints on the show.
Oh, I love Borash.
Yeah, I mean, I know of him. I know of his work.
Very nice.
But everything I've read is they make it out to this is a huge departure. Him leaving Impact to go to the WWE because he did so much for the company and he'd been there since the very beginning.
Impact, yeah, they've been trying to sort of say, it's not that big of a deal. I mean, what are you going to say? Yeah, we're destroyed from this. But he was the guy, speaking of, we were talking about like how they'd go out to indie promotions and tape stuff there. He was the guy who was doing that.
Yeah. He, of course, was one of the brains behind the whole Broken Matt Hardy production.
Yeah, that's
Final
true.
Deletion, Tag Team Apocalypto, all that stuff.
Yeah, he was a big deal. I mean, that's one thing that I'll say about Impact is that their production is always really good. Like, for them to have a set of TV tapings and film like 3 months of weekly TV, 2-hour shows in like the span of a week or something.
Yeah.
And then to go out for those, whatever it is, 12 weeks or 8 weeks or whatever it is of product they have, and to be able to assemble 2-hour freaking programs, that is impressive. Mm-hmm. That is a monumental task. That is impressive. So, I'm sure that he was probably an important cog in the machine, but he's probably a cog nonetheless. And, there are probably smart people there who can figure it out. Yeah. But, it's probably not easy for them.
No. PW Insider reported on the story on Tuesday saying that he had left Impact and had signed with WWE. They mentioned that, quote, Borash was backstage at the WWE events over the last several days in Philadelphia, but initially was telling those who asked that he was just visiting friends. However, word backstage at Raw last night was that Borash had been hired by WWE, and they add that the Borash hire was a Triple H call, and according to numerous sources, he'll be working in the developmental NXT system going forward. So it doesn't sound like, according to PW Insider, he will be working with Matt Hardy on any sort of Hardy compound type stuff.
A lot of people say that you do good work over there at TNA, so we'd like to hire you here. It'd be good.
Do you think Triple H watches Impact?
No.
Do you think he's aware of what they do, though?
Yes. I'm aware of everything.
Do you think Vince watches Impact?
What's that? What's that crap? If you got this far in the podcast, that was worth it.
Yeah.
What's that crap? Oh, TNA. It's a bunch of garbage from Vince Russo and Jeff Jarrett, right? They still alive?
Anyways.
Oh man, could you imagine being interviewed by Triple H? How intimidating can that be?
Fairly.
Let me put you at ease. I'm a good guy.
Just like coffee, tea.
Do you like coffee?
Water.
Maybe you want like a Diet Pepsi. That stuff is terrible for you. Do you want it? Well, no, now that you said that. I kind of did though. Do you like coffee?
It's like a protein shake.
Would you like a protein shake? Make my own. What do you think he puts in his protein shakes? 5 chickens.
Well, I hope cooked.
I'm starting to turn to Ryback. I put 5 chickens in my protein shake. I go to El Pollo Loco.
I'll go get 5 whole chickens and just put it in this protein shake.
Can I have 64 ounces of chicken? Put it in a blender.
All right, that's a good place to end.
Really? Oh, I was having fun
We're
with
out of
that.
news.
Come on, can we do some more role-playing Triple H being interviewed by Triple H? I'm sorry, not Triple H being interviewed by Triple H.
We have.
Hey, how's it going? Good. How are you? I'm the game.
Is this what you do in your car when you work on your?
Sometimes,
impressions?
yeah. Or I'll do like time traveling Triple H or time traveling Vince McMahon. I'm in the old timey days.
Oh my goodness!
Wow, look at the future. It's great.
You should set up your GoPro in your car and start recording them, and you can put them on your channel.
Oh, it'd be the rantings and ravings of a madman. I would have Child Protective Services called me. They'd take Alabama right out of my arms. Oh, I'd be so sad. Music.
Song playing
now. Anyways, it was a good time.
Sorry I made you upset earlier.
Thank you. I was about to say you should apologize to me.
Oh, okay, well I did. Not really sorry, but I'll say that for the sake of cameras.
Awesome. It's canon now. Talk to you guys later.
Bye.